Hey, how you doing there again, folks? You get, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler video series videos I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff and drink stuff, then, folks. I'm gonna talk about the stuff. I'm gonna let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not gonna lie. I never thought I'd see the day, but here we are. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there and try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm in my back room today, which means we get Peter Can Thunderbolt poster. Peter Can Thunderbolt poster. And whilst we're all doing all that, folks, we're also doing something else. What is it? Oh, we're rolling. Because I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today, though? Happens to be my Limp Bizkit shirt. Yeah, one of a couple that I have. If you're somehow unfamiliar with the band Limp Bizkit, because maybe you're, not almost 40 years old like I am, Limp Bizkit were and are a pretty much one of the biggest nu metal bands to come out of like the late 90s, early 2000s era. That subgenre really exploded during that period of time. And Limp Bizkit were definitely one of the top bands during that period of time. Korn, Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park eventually came around, and a few other sort of top ones. And Limp Bizkit were there, man. I was really fortunate. I actually got to see them perform live last year in 2024 at the time I'm doing this. That's where I got the shirt from. I also got some videos of their performance that I attended. Those videos are on the channel, just in case maybe you want to check them out. If nothing else, I'd be more than happy to kind of point you in the right direction as far as their music goes, because, damn it, I think they're fun and awesome. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Why did I never think this would come to pass? Well, that's because you could see this you could really sort of view this in different ways. You could see this as like, this particular company finally just tossing up their hands and saying, fine, fuck it, we'll do it, out of desperation. Or you could look at it from the perspective of they've now eclipsed the original to such an extent that they're just kind of curb stomping them at this point. But what is it, folks? It happens to be Boom from Domino's. Oh, yeah. Not just any Domino's. And this one, by the way, comes via a friend of mine, a guy named Paul, who I also work with. He's the one who went over there to let me know this happened. Thank you, Paul. I know he watches my videos sometimes. It is their new Boom Stuffed Crust Pizza from Domino's. Let's get a thing for the thing while we're here. And yeah, so of course, famously, Stuffed Crust has been the jewel, the center jewel in the crown of Pizza Hut's whole thing. They came out in the 90s, and it really helped propel them to the top of the fast food pizza world. But these days, kind of everybody does it. I did a review of Little Caesars. They went over there and came out with their version not too long ago, and Domino's just finally decided, fuck it. And these days, Pizza Hut is nowhere near the Goliath that they used to be, and I don't know exactly where they stand, but it could certainly be argued that Domino's has eclipsed them. But will it showcase in their stuffed crust pizza? I got just a basic sausage, pizza, nothing else. I will say this, in Pizza Hut's favor. When I got this, I thought I finally had the option to live as few men dare to dream and get an extra large stuffed crust pizza, because you can't do that from Pizza Hut. You can only get a large. From Domino's, you can only get a medium. Oh, shit. So let's go ahead. It's also stupid expensive. I was thinking about doing a comparison video, like a direct comparison video. It just costs too fucking much, man. So let's give it a go. Pizza itself, perfectly fine. Definitely that fast food pizza. The crust Obviously not particularly crispy or anything. A little bit thicker than you'd probably want from, like a proper pizza place, but it works. Like, I'm not going to shit on fast food pizza. The only point of contention I have with it, really, at this point, is just the price. Like, I almost never order from Domino's or from Pizza Hut ever at this point because it's just gotten so much, or it's gotten so expensive. I can just go to proper pizza places, and I might as well do that. But okay, so let's get into the crust. Mm. Now, obviously, like I said, I don't have like a Pizza Hut pizza right here to go over there and do the direct comparison. But I've eaten a lot of stuffed crust pizza from Pizza Hut over the years. This is definitely a different experience. Similar, but different. I would say the cheese itself maybe tastes a little bit softer than the mix that Pizza Hut uses, whereas theirs, like I would say, it's about probably maybe the same amount. Although I will say, I don't know, it looks like maybe the Domino's one a little bit less so than what I would expect from Pizza Hut, but not to a significant degree. Um, but yeah, it doesn't feel quite as dense. I guess would be the best way to put it. Hmm. It's not bad. I appreciate the fact they also have the Parmesan on the crust itself. You got the bit, so gives it an extra bit of cheesiness. That's nice. But I don't know that it has the same oomph as Pizza Hut does. Like, it's not a million miles away. Like, between this Little Caesars and Pizza Hut, it's definitely better than Little Caesars. Um, it has a certain personality to it, but I feel like they're kind of relying a little bit on the Parmesan to sort of help carry over and sort of mask some of the slight deficiencies from the Pizza Hut stuffed crust. Because stuffed crust, look, whether you like Pizza Hut or not, the stuffed crust is definitely one of the best things they have, in my opinion. And it has a very distinct flavor. It's something that, they really nailed down right from the get go. And they've stuck to that ever since. And whereas, like, Little Caesars, they had a fine attempt for what it was. Little Caesars obviously a budget, kind of pizza chain, so fair enough. But Domino's is like a much more direct competitor, right? They're similar size and everything. And, so them going over there and doing the stuffed crust, like I said, is that really just them kind of flaunting in the face of Pizza Hut and saying, ha ha ha, we can do it too? Or is it them kind of just saying, all right, fuck it, we might as well? Um, well, I do think it's a good effort. Again, better than Little Caesars. I don't think it's as good as Pizza Hut's. I think Pizza Hut is still the quality of the rest of the pizza. I think that you could weigh one way or the other. But in terms of the stuffed crust, I do think, at least for me, going off again of memory, I think Pizza Hut has it for sure. Two questions though. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Kinda and kinda ish. The fundamental problem that I have, like, there's nothing bad about it, but I do feel like it lacks the personality that Pizza Hut has with theirs. And again, I think they've cultivated that over years and years of this being one of their signature things. Domino's, this is them taking their first stab at it, really, right? And I think that again, it's not a bad effort. but I don't feel like the cheese has the same oomph of flavor. And again, it does feel maybe a little bit less dense, which that you could take it or leave. But I do feel like it's less impactful. Whereas with the Pizza Hut, getting into that stuffed crust is like really kind of the best part. In this case, I don't know that I feel that way. I feel like it's fine. It's a nice little reward for eating the rest of the pizza, but I don't feel like it's quite as good. But would I maybe occasionally go over there and tag one in? Maybe. I'll say this: if I want stuffed crust, I'm going with Pizza Hut. I think Pizza Hut's still, they're the OGs, and I still think they do it the best. But if I'm ordering from Domino's, maybe. But then I can only get it as a medium, so like, yeah. And that's why if I'm recommending it, like, try it. If you're interested, it'll cost you a bunch of money because again, it's ridiculous how fucking expensive this shit is these days. There's nothing wrong with it, and you might take away more from it than I did. But for me personally, I still just think the Pizza Hut's got it down the best. When it comes to that aspect of their pizza. The rest of the pizza, like I said, you could argue, but I think when it comes to the stuffed crust, I still think they do it the best out of the three. And maybe one day, if this YouTube thing ever takes off and I can retire from having to do, my normal job and stuff, I'll do a full comparison. I'm just throwing down money on this thing. But 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there themselves truly stuffed crust-tastic rest of your life. From wherever you prefer it. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Now, folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, this is another one of those ones where if you go out and you try this, I would love to hear your opinion on it. Do you feel like my representation of it is accurate? Do you think I'm talking out my ass? Maybe I'm just too much of a, nostalgia Pizza Hut fanboy? Let me know. It'd be really interesting to hear your thoughts on this one. Anyway,